hang out here and wait for someone to show up. Someone's showing up. Feel free to chime in. Let me know what's going on. I think we're gonna scour the web here. Here's the Star Trek news to know about. Alright. There's this fluff piece from space.com. Season 3, what we know and what we hope. Yeah, right. Okay. Someone's hoping this thing will crash and burn us to the light of day, frankly. Season 3. 950 years in the future. No. 950 years from the 23rd century. It's like we're talking for the 1200 years. Okay? So people need to do basic math here, okay? Unless they're considering, the 20th century the present. The lack of forethought in these are astounding. Let's see. Alright, let's see. Final discovery. And for some reason, bringing the cards. Okay, who's on board? Commander Commander Saru the Melted Mushroom, Stammer, 20 bitch, Tilly, Culber, Hood Whiteman. No, I thought she got killed. She wasn't moving much after that fight. I don't know. Let's see. Lieutenant General, what the hell? Or is the first name Jen or something? Don't confuse these. I gotta wait. Someone's gonna stay straight put here. Okay. Joanne Osiko, and there's the Mrs. T. Anything. Bryce, Philippa Georgiou, well, so much for that spin-off series of hers. Jet Reno are all on board. Yeah, Pike and Spock, they were smart and went back to the Enterprise. Yeah. Okay. Admiral Cornwell died in the stupidest way possible, and Leland is just, not much for harm on the stupidity scale. And also the stupidest things down where never attack of it again on pain of treason. It's like, that's not how it works. Yeah. Yeah, thing Harry Mudd knows about this 4 drive, so how are you going to keep him shut up? This panel discussion allows, no it doesn't. Because you still got the wrong ship, the wrong uniforms, and all kinds of wrong stuff on there. That doesn't change a damn thing. Oh, God. they try their own little version of how the timeline branches off. It's like you'd still get some kind of breakdown of now there's some backstory stuff on that short bus trip to Calypso. Space Frame Racing. Do not mention, no catch any reference, any that's how little impact that episode had. I did not remember any race being mentioned at all. But the Dreas shoots, like it's supposed to be several centuries down, that position, the word Federation. But really like older stuff, so that's why they had to abandon the Discovery way out of the reach of these guys. So whatever. It's not on the scene, it ain't on the screen, it ain't in the scene. They can go on the backstory they want until it's actually explicitly stayed on the screen. Whatever. Of course, Kentwalski. Yeah. That's where that picture came from. Yeah. If you go to space.com and they'll breakdown here. They got their little thing of where it takes place and it's something. No. You're not paying attention. But it's a prime time. Yeah, it can be the prime all at once. Prime is not canon. Very exhausting detail on this subject. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to take this one apart. Prime time as per Alex Kurtzman. Where Alex Kurtzman can't write his way up in the bag. Oh no, you don't. You don't compare it. There we go. That should hold. Got a spoon putting hold the thing in place. So who wrote this thing anyway? Scott Snow. Is that Kowalski's real name? The diagram of the timeline is, credited Scott Stone / Kowalski. Get out of my. That was a drawing. No, this guy's English. Okay, so we're working with him. So we're plugging away here. Well, some point we're digging around for Star Trek News Online right now. And I think I got another thing to coming up. We're dealing with what appears to have been Kowalski's take on what the timeline comes out and saying wrong. I mean, yeah, it seems like maybe I'm expand out. Hey, get back here. Oh, open up. Yeah, I don't think so. No. It's part of the thing whenever they start talking about time travel has always been a staple of Star Trek. No, time travel has been something that Star Trek has dabbled in a time or two. Because if you look back on the original series, they really very sparingly dealt with time travel. And it's like we're talking maybe out of 79 episodes, maybe 6 had time travel as any kind of major element. In fact, that's what I'm thrilled. The first time they even touched on it was the naked time when they went back 3 days. So, and the big one, of course, was Tomorrow's Yesterday, where he went, they went around what they call a black star. Yeah. And actually, the little, I don't know how well known it, but it was the kind of thing. Naked Time was supposed to lead directly into Tomorrow's Yesterday. Because basically, it wasn't supposed to just, back 3 days work. It was just all they were going, we're slowing back and, tune in next week, and they're back on Earth, on Earth in 69 with the first moonshot. But scheduling issues forced them to break the two up. So it became separate things. So we got Naked Time, and that's really peripheral. The time travel thing in the bit was just it was a holdover from the plan, went to Tomorrow's Yesterday, and it just a little bit of G-Ways weirdness in the end. So it really didn't matter with the plot at all. Like 3 days, who cares? Just avoid that area for a few days while we do our thing over there. And Tomorrow's Yesterday, and oh, for Christ's sake, I can't. These stupid little error messages here. Close your little. Alright, fine, put it this way. There's a big red screen of death here. Like, oh, Chrome criminal alert! You know. So it won't shut down, so I can do all kinds of weird things. Yeah. I think I do not trust these little alerts. No answer. Fake information made there. This drainage connection is blocked by firewall. Well, then let me unstuck. It just locks up the damn browser. So there's probably an advantage of going to the phone for this. So I just turn the computer off and plug it and put it away. It'd still be able to stay online. But, okay, there we are. And go. I gotta put this there. Nope. Because it's kind of in front of the button. Close. There we go. All right. Well, that's done. Get back online here. So let's see, we counted Naked Time barely. Tomorrow's yesterday. Assignment Earth. Well, kind of skipping past the biggie, City on the Edge of Forever. And that's really it as far as time travel into Earth's past. And then you got all our yesterdays. So that's another one that's past entirely. It doesn't really matter that much. And that's really it. As far as the original series goes, that's kind of full. And then with the original movies, you got Star Trek 4, the only one really. So for all this stuff about, oh, they all did time travel. Well, not always, okay? They really didn't do it very often. When they did it, it made a big impact. And that's why we're thinking, well, it's not Doctor Who, okay? Well, yeah, okay, we're animated series, that's another thing. But even then, we're really only talking yesteryear at that point. And that was Spock on his own. But somehow they got on the head, oh, it's all about time travel. No, it's not all about it. They do it once in a while, very sparingly. Okay, try to get back online. Computer, get back up here. I probably should be using a more secure browser, but I prefer this. I'm fine with it. Oh, yeah, okay. Cylons? What Cylons are doing? Okay, now. So let's go back on. Searching the web. Oh, okay. There's a big Star Trek exhibition going to be shown at the Henry Ford in Dearborn. What was this one? This was not today. Well, they had that Star Wars The Pirate Costume went through last year. That was a good because I went to Denver. Well, something like it. So, okay. So the Detroit Free Press, author Julie Hines, published as of not that long ago. Let's see. Let's see. Star Trek, the epic space opera that's captured imaginations for more than 50 years, is getting an equal from the Star Wars. And with this exhibition, the Henry Ford Museum of American Innovation in nearby Dearborn will make it so. Project Exploring New Worlds, which runs through September 2nd, packs maximum enjoyment and cultural context with its 100 plus artifacts, props, and costumes from all the various TV series right up to the current and many of the films. It opens officially Saturday, but members can get an early look Friday at what's bound to be a highlight of Metro Detroit's museum year. Okay, they got a picture here of so they're doing a recreation of the bridge. There was a picture from that. I forget what museum this was at, but there was a. And they showed it in the Smithsonian thing about video about them refurbishing the Enterprise model, but also little side issues. And one of them was somehow they found the helm. I know they come across the original command chair and fixed it up, but someone came forward and had the helm, and it was in pretty sad shape. So they had to do a whole refurbishment on that poor thing. And then the still they got is from that. I recognize that setup there. Unless they did the same thing with the Henry Ford here, but they say here is a replica of the captain's chair, but this might be it. I wouldn't call it a recreation of the bridge. It's just the command chair and the helm. But okay, the exhibition takes a compelling look at how Star Trek has shaped our cultural universe through the worlds of pop culture, fashion, technology, literature, and more, ever since the original series created by Gene Roddenberry and starring William Shatner in London, 1966. So what is it about trekking through Trek history that's museum worthy? Let's see. I find a lot of similarities between the way Star Trek examines future cultures and possible cultures to the way we look at our society in the past, and why things were the way they were, says Kate Moreland, Henry Ford's exhibit manager who started watching Star Trek Voyager in middle school. Make me feel a little better. The show's themes of equality, heroism, and empathy for the human condition helped make it an iconic franchise that spawned 5 spin-off TV series and 1 cartoon show and 13 movies. And that's not counting the numerous series and films in development, including an untitled show focused on Captain. Boasting a massive multi-generational appeal, Star Trek has always used its platform to tackle important issues from racism to war to gender inequality, and always with a hopeful belief that change is possible. One sees the Spock-like logic in bringing Star Trek and Henry Ford. I think it's a perfect fit with our mission here. We're looking to innovators of the past to help shape our future. Looking to shape the future. Okay, so tricorder communicator, phaser, a Borg cube, a shelter pistol, tribbles, and uniforms, of course. This is an immersive, interactive experience which many visitors will be able to put themselves virtually into the USS Enterprise. A Khan screen booth will let visitors try their lung capacity. The name is Khan, cried at Shatner and Ellen. Also, a transporter simulator that will feed guests an image that sends them to one of several machines. What props do I have? Nothing down here. Everything's back in storage. But I have various phasers, a few communicators. I want to get a few more. The artists aren't, but most of the ones I have are the. I got at least a couple of Playmates ones. I got one that was where they got the thing with a combination of the recorder and a calculator on it. And I got one of those. Got it for extremely cheap even then. I got one big Artisan tricorder. I want to get a few more of those, but I don't want to pay for those for them. And some later props. I got some next gen phasers of different things. I got Most of the Playmate stuff, because they'll start getting some of the other stuff cool. I think my first next gen tricorder's gone a little AWOL. It's probably somewhere in the midst of all the crap. But I know I got the medical tricorder set aside. And it's, nice. Everything's all back and safe and in storage back in Denver. Paid the bill on that too, so it'll be safe for another month. Let's see. Well, if I start making a go at this, actually, also how much we get the settlement. I got several enterprises in TLS. A whole bunch of models waiting to build. I got one 350. It's getting, I got the unboxing video of that. That was when I had a little surge of money there, like paying off bills and going a little nuts. But let's see. Okay, this exhibit premiered in Indianapolis. The Henry Ford Museum was the second. Again, it's apparently open. This was a couple hours, so it officially opens, I guess, tomorrow. It's running through September 2nd. I might actually get up there. No. And the exhibit is included with the museum admission, so it's just regular. All right. So it's between $18 to $24. Yes, depends on various things. Probably check the website, find out for sure. Member discounts of 15%. So, yeah, that might be worth a road trip one of these days. But I should make a note of that. We get the. Yeah, I am waiting. Full-size original series shuttle. That's about 30 feet long. That would be something, I think. Get a place with a decent sized yard and a garage and actually build it. And do a shuttle. Okay, yeah, this might actually be. Let's go look at this here. Can I zoom in on this? Nope. No, not when they were doing. Okay. All right, let's see. Let me get over here. Clear the screen. But yeah, that's something. Okay, so I'm interested in Mo Rocca does a thing on his Saturday morning show about this exhibit. It would, they would be allowed because CBS owns Star Trek, so they could, and it's a CBS show. So what the hell? Like, there might be something worth looking at. So I know they've already done one CBS somewhere. One interest place. Okay. Original Enterprise. Only because it's like that's the one. It's one of the shows that looks like it doesn't have to really just sit there, and it looks like it's got some power to it, and it could it can take care of business. Because frankly, the refit, yeah, it's very pretty and streamlined and stuff, but it looks a little more like a cruise ship. And the rest of them, it's like they're all kind of Johnny come lately type thing. They're all kind of variations on the Asian. Okay. So this is Independent UK. It's just all different structures. Okay. No. Listen, this is yeah, the thing where Quentin Tarantino is that they do have a script. They're just doing the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood thing first, and they'll come turn back around and start working on Star Trek. By then, hopefully, this merger thing will be done. It'll all be back under one roof. And whatever Tarantino comes up with will likely be canon compliant. And we'll go back to my prediction of, yeah, it will, whatever he's up with, it'll be vulgar and ridiculously violent, but it'll also be the most canon compliant ever made of the entire bunch. We did that two-part episode of CSI, and he was reciting, details back to the cast that they had forgotten about. Because of course, the them, it's a job. They're working on script, and the next they don't remember this stuff. But he was a walking encyclopedia on the show, so he was a hardcore fanboy. And he's also a big-time Bill Shatner fan. So that's why I think it will be something. It'll be a doozy, whatever it is. It will not be dull. I was an offhand call talking about something else. It's gonna happen. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the day when I can finally be able to set up a little workshop area and start working on that big, beautiful model I did the unboxing of. We were talking about whatever the hell we can come up with at this point. And hopefully enough to draw the attention here, someone can throw some money at me here. Because we had to do another payday loan to resolve the issues of the outstanding bills. Now it's a matter of somehow making this trip up to Kingsland at the end of the month. So right now, the only model I got done here is that one Enterprise model I got when I was expecting would be doing the live thing. The worst thing. Where do we start with the Klingons in Discovery? One, I think the utter hypocrisy, because the guys in charge of the makeup design are judges on Face Off, and they're constantly ragging on the contestants about covering up the actor's face. They can't see. And what do? They practically pull over masks with that makeup and filling it with and it's just, yeah, I don't think it's in general. It's like reimagine. It's like Robin Hood and King Arthur. Those are two, storyline character that nobody knows what the hell the original story was. Nobody's bothered to do a straight telling of the stories in God knows how long. The closest thing to a straight story about Robin Hood was Mel Brooks' Robin Hood Men in Tights. Because the Kevin Costner thing was a certain amount of retelling of reimagining, and everything since then has been complete total rubbish as far as that goes. You pretty much have to refer people back to the Errol Flynn movie to get them, this is Robin Hood. And this is probably the last time it was done right. King Arthur, it's like Excalibur, maybe? Yeah, pretty much the high notes on it. I was personally offended by Sword and Stone. A lot of people love that cartoon. I tried watching it, and I was just offended, frankly. Actually, that. Hold on. Okay. Robin Hood apparently is on the list of Disney list of live action remakes. Live action being the devised term because we're still talking CGI animals. Oh God! Apparently they are looking at doing Robin Hood. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I tried rewatching that not too long ago, and I just couldn't really get into it. I mean, I remember when I was a kid. It was also one of those cases of my childhood is littered with showing up late to movies. I mean, it was back in the days when they let you sit through to the next showing, but it was still irritating. Us walking in halfway through or more than halfway through a movie. It just throws off the whole memory thing of where you came in. Like airport. It's kind of tough to try and force the memory to the beginning of that film because when we walked in, the bomb had already gone off and the plane they're trying to. And I think we came in a little bit halfway point in that one. So it messes with the childhood memory of a movie. It's when does it start? So there's been a large part of having to get some of these movies. And some of them are a little obscure. They weren't necessarily the big ones. And just to get in my collection so I didn't want to watch it. Okay, we'll watch it from the beginning the first time. There's a running gag with my dad. We never got that time. Always late for movies. But it's kind of like everything being a deconstruction of this or reimagining of that. How about just do a straight story for once, okay? There's no fixing it. There is no fixing Discovery at all. It's irreparable. It's flawed from the get-go. No remedy for that. Oh, thank you, John Hiroshi. Yeah. Kicking that off there. Okay. Yeah, that doctor was in. I'm still not entirely sure what happened at that thing, but. Well, I saw it with my dad. That was one time we did. When we got there, it was at the Lake Ridge Twin Theater. It's no longer there, so don't worry about it. It was a kind of big block, twin theater. And it was start like say right about there's the door, and then went there, and then down about halfway back down the building. That's when we got in the line. By the time we got in there, the line already got down to the bottom here, so into the building. And I was always kind of questionable where he stood on some of this stuff because he was constantly writing, "You're gonna get in your life. Stop devoting your stuff to the structure." But the thing is, he also fostered that by doing stuff like that, by pulling me out of school in the middle of geometry class. I don't know what was going on, so we're going to see Star Trek. Okay, fine. It's a Friday afternoon. Why not? Would have been nice if it had been around long enough. I think it was. I don't know if it was long. No, anyway. Just got a thing about Entertainment Weekly TV. Can you spot the most shocking Game of Thrones cameos? Yeah, that's Star Wars stuff. No, I've literally lost track of how many times I saw a motion picture in the theaters. Back then, and that kind of goes to why it's trying to compare box office takes between then and now. Because back then, an evening ticket for like I said, Star Wars motion picture was like $3. At least in Denver, in bigger cities, probably there wasn't any home video to speak of at that point. So you wanted to see a movie again, you had to go to the theater multiple times. And also, but the theater would also let you do it. So I saw Star Wars God knows how many times, and Empire. But there's also a lot of time do the old trick of you buy your ticket, in the morning show, and then before the credits start rolling, you go sneak off to the bathroom, and you stay in there through, and then you wait for them to hear the opening music, and you go back in then. That'd be tough to pull off the day now. On the board, well, I think they're on the way to it, what they were doing with the Control and Leyland and all that stuff, but hopefully they drop that. They'd have to do some. There really is no redeeming Discovery. It really has to be just completely excised from the record. And the entire timeline, too, because the entire timeline is corrupted. And the stupid stuff. And they need to make that explicitly clear because they've totally corrupted Memory Alpha as a source of information. Because all this crap is filtered into that. I tried to correct a couple things on there, and they go, nope, because JJ said that. That's something to redeem anything. You can explain it as that's an alternate timeline from when something, when they all hit the old reset button at the end of whatever the every Enterprise episode, and just say that's where your fracture was, and you got a bunch of the timeline shut off from that point. That is actually kind of a little museum that Gene Roddenberry offered up when he first saw the idea of the Borg. And he kind of put out the idea that this may have been where V'Ger went when he went to the Borg homeworld. And that, and Shatner and Judy and Gar Reeve Stevens picked up on that, and they kind of played on that for a while. And they also left themselves open by saying that there were different versions of the Borg. And it makes it, you wouldn't necessarily have, just all monolith. There might be some variations on the theme there. So they had their, a branch of the Borg encountered feature. And this was an all machine race. And then the other Borg, and the other branches of the Borg, the kind of Cyberman ripoff thing we see. I could dig up the Shakes dish pretty quickly. Yeah. The galaxy's a big place. The old argument about hello, so forth. Thank you. A little story about through the Shakespeare Company in Canada, the Toronto area. He understudied Christopher Plummer. The Plummer was a few years older than Shatner, and Shatner was his understudy. And there was a bit of a rivalry there because, Shatner's the young upcoming one to set the world on fire and kind of nipping at Christopher Plummer's heels. Well, a production of Henry V. And Plummer's playing Henry, of course. And basically did what in later years he revealed that he was a night of sexual gymnastics, is what he described it as. Basically dislodged a kidney stone in Plummer, and he wound up in the hospital because of a rock. It formed in the kidneys, and it was painful. It's the closest thing that a male can come to experience in childbirth is trying to pass a kidney stone. Well, while Plummer is laid up, guess who has to play Henry? This is Shatner's chance to shine. Now on Shatner's side of things, a bit of a blind panic because he's okay. So Shatner hasn't been really playing that much online. But getting up stuff to learn. Okay, now you're playing Henry, so you're no longer you're no longer a spirit carrier over there on stage, right? You're now king. So and he's done and getting rave reviews. People come back, oh, he's great. And close one, how's he doing? He's doing great. Well, what's he doing? Everything opposite of you. Where you sit down, he stands up. He turns, you stay, whatever, and just start, wow. So that kind of gave Plummer an incentive to get his ass back in the stage and get his spot in the spotlight back from this upstart. But Shatner, then during that whole experience, he had a moment where he was just in a scene and the mind just goes blank. And he kind of turns to his best friend in the company, and goes over there and puts a friendly hand on his shoulder, and like, what's the line? And he doesn't know the line either. So they're both kind of panicking at this point. Eventually, something breaks the logjam. The line comes up. Everyone thinks it's a dramatic pause for something, but little things about what goes on in the mind of an actor when you're on stage. Shatner's got other stories like one who's I was going to go to it now. He went to the theater, still there. They moved the amusement park. He was a amusement park out there, and for about 100 years it had been a 38th and Tennessee, and it just got hemmed in by everywhere, so they eventually just moved it to another place. But certain parts of the original park are still there, and one of them is the Eagles Theater, because it's a historic landmark. It was kind of put a stymie on the developers' plan. They were going to level the whole thing, put in condos, and nope, can't touch the theater, can't touch the carousel house. So, I wish they left the Pumpwood Golf Course. That was pretty. But anyway, Shatner's there, for doing a production of Death Trap, which is kind of a crime movie. And the opening line of the movie is Death Trap. It's like just in the stage and running off, thinking, what's going to happen? Setting up things for the audience. So he's there, and he somehow gets corralled in by this professor at CU, University of Colorado. And you've just come to dinner with my house, and my wife makes the best Chinese food. It's okay, fine, but no MSG because he's allergic to MSG. So just okay, no MSG. Well, so they goes to this dinner, but because the picture's frozen on mine. But they go around having a good old time, a little bit of wine, Chinese food. Okay, I got to get down to the theater now. So okay, so by the time he gets down to the theater, things are starting to swell a little bit because oh my God, there was MSG in that food, and he's starting in the wine. It's like oh dear God, he's about to go on stage, and he doesn't know what thing. He didn't. What's the first line? What's the name of the play I'm in? Oh my God, he's just totally losing it in his mind. Like, Death Trap. He's actually on stage at this point. And that's the first line. Death Trap. Oh, okay. And then the logjam breaks and he's able to go on. But that's the panicky mind of an actor. Let's see. Okay, first model of the Enterprise was a long box one, but it was one of them where they had stopped doing the lights in the thing, but it was, and they done the stupid, inaccurate details. So probably 72, 73 when the long box was in, but it still had the little tab through the loop thing. So that whole nonsense. Oh, that could be fun. Just assuming we got something up there right now. Right now, Utopia Planitia is going to bring over lump. Well, at this point, I'm just, we're just trying to get back into Georgia. Oh, streaming. Right. Yeah. That reminds me. Haven't you been at where when the Star Trek Experience was up and running? Everybody make it up to that one because I made it out there a couple times, and that was fun. When they saw that going there, I wish it's a slightly better setup, but it's still going well. I think if they had maybe a little more room, it would have been nice if they'd had an upper level to the promenade there. Yeah, when I went out there with my dad, I actually finished up a short story I was working on out there with the Strange New Worlds contest. I finished it up at Quarks. I figured that was fitting. But then a couple years later, went out there with Steph. She, it's kind of her birthday present from folks. They paid for a few nights at the Hilton. Where was that? And tickets to the experience. We met up with some friends, a friend of mine in California. And she drove up. And that was fun. And they were just starting to think with the board. Got a bunch of pictures on that. A couple of trips. Got a bunch of pictures. One thing I always got a kick out of was their little artifacts display. They had a little model of a runabout. Yes, the real. And apparently it was on the slanted part, and they put on the flat part. And I did the same exact thing. But I always got a kick out of that. Strange that they painted the same way too. Either that was real pressure. Let's see. We are checking along here. This one, I just want to get back up to Georgia though, and we're going to need a few $100 worth of balance the books before we do that. Okay. Regards will be a psychological look at his later years. Worst model ever bought. I'm not sure. Relatively speaking, that probably is that earliest one, because that tab and slot configuration for the engine with the struts is really problematic, and it breaks so damn easily. So you can really scoop a model without even trying for that. So, all right. Sound good? Picard being the new head of Section 31. Which, especially if we're going with the first Section 31 we have seen so far, is really a complete betrayal of Captain Picard. We would never hook up with these idiots. And they also have no clue how to write something like Section 31. They're supposed to be, this organization is supposed to not even officially exist in anybody's mind. On DS9, it's they refer to themselves as Section 31. No, but they really don't officially have any kind of good people. And then they have, who are these guys? We never heard of them. So they're not really being in the program. Headquarters doesn't know about it. I hope the hell not. They've already made a hash of the mirror universe as it is. So the last thing is them mucking around anymore about it. Because the last time we saw the real mirror universe was in a mirror darkly. Because then before they just told them what a total mess of it. Yes, please, no more mirror universe. Nobody else has been asking me back on this show. They're still, They're still talking like, it's just Picard and his group of newbies. I'll tell you what, my kid's sister likes the Discovery design. I think it's hideous. So if I do pick up a model, it's got to be for her. And I've seen some videos on the thing. It's a dinky little thing. It's a snap together kit. It's molded in color, and the decals cover about every square inch. So you really don't have to do anything to it. Snap it together, put on the decals, boom, you're done. Ready to paint it. But for myself, no, I have no use for it. It's spindly little myself, the ugly design, looks like a pizza cutter. Yeah, and most of my tweet when Anson Mount was talking about, being very touched about the outpouring of people. So that's what people were responding to. The fact, okay, yeah, finally someone who actually knows what he's doing. As far as Ethan Peck and Spock, it's like, well, he was okay with what he was given, but what he was given was utter crap. So, but this whole thing about there might be Spock made him the Spock we know today. That is such a crock. That Spock would need the help of this idiot. One, the entire Vulcan race was ruined. Not just Spock and such, but they showed a total misread of the entire Vulcan race, Vulcan culture, with the way they treated Spock and Sark and all that. Yeah, that's something. It's being premise that the character development was cookie cutter at best, and some of the most stupid ideas for motivations. And the room's coming up, but they're constantly asking, why is my character doing this idiotic? The other thing with the beard, because I think the impression with the beard is kind of let himself go, and yet the neck is perfectly trimmed right and onto there, and nice little scope. What is the deal here? Is it supposedly just getting all shaggy himself, or is he still grooming someone? So there's a lot of that didn't make a whole lot of sense either. And I think a lot of it goes, we're kind of wound back to that 25% different thing, which Kowalski likes to try to dismiss, but we have it in writing on that diskette about does this mean the 25% difference requirement? He did not just pull that out of his ass. He was told by legal it has to be 25% different. No, I think because you have taste and discernment, and you realize this is crap. Like a lot of it been saying on this thing, we watch it so you don't have to. And I don't think I've really watched any of them. Usually watch maybe a few of them twice just to make sure I didn't catch anything. Most of them it's like once, and I don't even keep the recording. I got better use for that memory. I'll watch it to make sure I watched it, and it's like, okay, well, that's it. Do the quick impressions on the episode, that's it. Okay. Enterprise, I don't think so much ruined the Vulcans, but they expanded a bit because they're milking. Well, the fact that humans do smell, that's one of our defense mechanisms. That's why we have multi-billion-dollar industry deodorants and all that. And perfume, because humans do kind of stink. But I think it's like, to do a proper prequel series, you got to take back what was the situation like before we came to where we had. Yeah, that's the thing. If they have Vulcan and Romulus destroyed, then it's like a mission to be together. It's like, no, it's definitely not canon. For one thing, in Next Generation, we saw Vulcan a few times. So that okay, when was Vulcan destroyed? Well, when Nero did, well, that was 23rd century. So, yeah, Enterprise did try. They really did try, and that was a case of when you had enough people on hand who knew their stuff too. Even if Berman and Braga weren't the biggest historians of authorities on things, they had people on there that exactly were. So, and they did try to, made an effort, honest effort to try and be canon, to try and stay within the lines. But the network tried to push this, temporal Cold War thing because for some reason a 22nd century starship roaming the galaxy was not futuristic enough in that line. So they wanted something, an external conflict tacked on there. So okay, fine, we'll see what make that work. That is the one case that would be fun to see Future Guy return and just really muck things up. Why not? It'd be the first good use of that character at all. So that would be the closest I would come to try and redeem that show. I would link it in through, like I said, the resolution of the temporal Cold War. This is one of the offshoot timelines that resulted from that. As you go that far back, then you can have all kinds of variations because you're going back a century before. Then you got a little wiggle room. That's why Enterprise does actually work if you squint on a couple of issues here and there, but it's not irredeemably wonky to the point where and again, part of the problem when they chose to put Discovery just 10 years before the original series because the thing is you're technically in between two episodes, the Cage and When I Was Number 4. So you're not 10 years before the show, you're in the middle of it. You're in between two episodes. And if they don't match up, then you got problems. Well, yeah, there's still some, speculation that, despite the announcement, they still might not go through with the season 3. If the money and the interest isn't there, it doesn't matter if they get the approval there. I don't know where Rick Berman said that, but now it never happened, so it's not really binding anything. Because Matt Jerry had some ideas about what NCC 1701. I don't know. I mean, I would give I'll give him credit enough on that. Yeah, it's a good looking design, but actually, think about it. It actually looks kind of like one of the proposed designs for the NX-01 that was rejected because it looked too much like their ship. But I think if you think of some of the pre-production sketches for Enterprise, there's a design or two that looks a lot like that, the Discovery. And it may have been from East because I think he was plugging around and they brought in Doug Drexler. He's like, you take a crack at it, and he came with the NX-01. Actually, there are much better shows on The Good Fight's a much better show than Discovery. And when I've heard of Twilight Zone, I don't even want to touch that show. When I heard Twilight Zone, it's coming around to it. It's blatantly anti-Trump. We're going to pound it. Why would I even bother watching it? Well, they'll keep saying it until enough people challenge them on it. Because until somebody actually makes them produce those viewership numbers, they can say anything they want. It set all kinds of records. Well, when your record was pathetic to begin with, it's not harder to break it. And the blowback was almost instantaneous. It's like, this is not exactly meeting with, not being met with open arms. You finally get some live feedback and unfiltered numbers, and people may counter, what is this crap? You know, somebody at CBS has got to be paying attention. We're not getting the right. We're not getting the short story from Alex over here. No, I think that I'm still thinking that with this whole global franchise group they've set up, that they are trying to get control away from Cluster. Yeah, it didn't really get any better. With any show where you're changing showrunners, like Underwear, they dumped Brian Fuller out the door before they even really start filming. So you had what influence he had on in there, but then immediately been replaced by a couple of his underlings and Kurtzman, and apparently his underlings don't play well with others. Because there was shouting matches, and I think at one point somebody tried going for another one's throat across the table. Yeah, Gary does pretty good sum up the thing. I think it can be a little harsh sometimes, but sometimes harsh is what's called for. But I'm gonna get a little closer. No, I'm watching synopsis. We used to watch the reviews of Game of Thrones, Longest Night or the Long Night, just to see what the hell was going on, because I got my download and I'm looking at a black screen most of the time with a few little dull orange bits where somebody's lighting the flame. Although I couldn't see a bloody thing through this episode. And if I pointed out, it's well, the only way you're going to see all of it is you get the Blu-ray, or if you were watching it directly from HBO. We're not having like inch compression because when they have to, part of what makes this work and why I don't know how many knows how video works is basically taking the thing and drawing a line of about 30 times a second. It's re-drawing the picture on the screen with one line at a time. And part of how YouTube is able to work is just not having to redraw the stuff that doesn't change, like up in the corner here and back over here. That just keeps it the same, and they're just redrawing the bits that move. And the way they did that episode was such that the dark was too dark, and most of the stream stuff just doesn't have the range to handle it, so it just makes everything black. The director's cut of the motion picture, I think that is a definitive cut now. What we have been treated to for the past 30 years further was the test screening. Because one of the things that Robert Weiss, so I think that was when they did, when they do the DVD, he invoked his contract, I want my final cut. And normally that would require, include some reshoots of some scenes and stuff, but in this case, it's 30 years too late for just do with what you can. So you have CGI finishing, recutting certain things, changing sound effects, and the big thing was replacing those matte paintings. Now Vulcan looks like Vulcan. And you no longer have this, what is this big, Vulcan has no moon. Well, now we're back to Vulcan has no moon. Okay? It's a nice red sky. There's no big planet Hulk in the background. And the Enterprise, that doing little spacewalks. I don't know how that first one got even partially hideous from the get-go. What the hell am I looking at here? Alright, I haven't seen Justice League yet. I've seen all the analysis of it and why it's disjointed. Strong and swearing, and that's the getting back to those Captain Worf series, Michael Dorn's been kind of pushing for that, but the problem is those prosthetics are not cheap. So you're talking a lot of bucks for them. It's probably what killed the Planet of the Apes TV series back in the day, just the cost of all that ape makeup. So you're really going full face prosthetic. I mean, Spock's ears were regular expense all the time too. So they're just trying to do an entire, or at least a large contingent of the cast with these turtles on their head. That adds up pretty quick, especially for a show that's inherently expensive as a Star Trek type show anyway. So don't hold your breath on the Klingon show, unless they're going to do CGI, which is practically impossible these days. Be an animated CGI show. Which I guess kind of brings us to this Nickelodeon idea of these lawless teens. That phrase is going to stick around for a while. Finding this derelict ship. That's going to be their Nickelodeon show. I mean, even if you get around the whole idea of lawless teens in the Federation and the thing about finding a ship and getting pick up the transponder signal and then shut it down with the command codes, and that's you're all going back. You're all going to Federation prison. This ship's going back to Starfleet. They think it's just Star Wars. You don't just find a derelict freighter somewhere and decide to hey kids, let's go on an adventure. It doesn't work that way. This is a government vehicle. They got to want it back. I would rather see that thing. I mean, no disrespect to the artist's information, but I would rather see them get those original cast recordings. I think I would rather get somebody, a few more voices on there instead of there's Jimmy Doohan, God bless him. They really abused their privilege with him as a voice actor. Because there's the mechanical against it. He's doing like half the cast. And also, a typical animated series script was about 40 pages. So at a regular live action type pacing, that's almost an hour show. So and just the way they crammed everything all together, it came into 20 minutes of an animated show. But you pace the thing out right, and you could easily make it an hour show in a modern situation with a modern day commercial breaks. Now, unfortunately, some of the original when they had Koloff and Tor, and unfortunately, John Kalukas and Bill Campbell are no longer with us, so you have to do some satellite. But some of it's Jimmy was best out of the lot, but whenever George and Michelle or Major would do voices, it still sounded like George and Michelle and Major. So get in look up a thing called Comic Book the Movie. But the entire cast of this are very well-known voice actors. Your favorite cartoon voice is somewhere in that cast. I think who would do a good core? Maurice LaMarche would do a very good core. And Jim Cummings would probably do a good Koloff. But yeah, I can get these voice actors in there and give them a crack at it. But a lot of it, you can still use the original recordings. It hacked to his, such as Nimoy and Kelly with the episode yesteryear, Mark Leonard and Stanley Adams Child Tribulation. But that could I might just get one of the episodes and take it apart audio wise and just try and play with the pacing and see what that would Star Trek Horizon. I'm really talking the fan film. I rather liked it. I wonder what the title though. I forget what it's talking about. But I'm thinking Horizon was talking about the ship that did ship involved was the Discovery NX-04. Because they had this ship name. But that was following like because they were naming the NX class after the shuttles. And you already had Enterprise and then Columbia, so presumably that should have been Challenger. And someone there would have been Discovery. So, one of these guys, they take a look at Memory Alpha or flip open Encyclopedia and do the research. Now watch the damn episodes. Or watch them. Figure out what the hell you're writing for. Let's see. Alright. How long have we been doing this? 20 minutes? Okay. It's still early going. Let's have some more fun. Yeah, they were the pants off of Alec Peterson. The difference is the guys that of Horizon knew better than going to court, whereas Alec loves being silly. He loves the confrontation and trying to be really victim. That's why he's suing everybody inside now, because he felt he's being ignored. But it's like Mr. I, as a lawyer, well, if you're a lawyer, you know better than to try and, sue a California resident in a Georgia court. It's like, it doesn't work that way. And guess what? Rob Burnett also has a lawyer. And I think it would be hilarious if the final settlement was into, not just Montana, but Rob gained custody of all the sets. In which case, I'll be back on the floor to him. Let's shoot Nax and ourselves. So, let's find our own Captain Garth and shoot the thing ourselves. And I would do the whole thing. I wouldn't do this little 15-minute crap. You go ahead and shoot the whole thing. Maybe make a half-hour work. That's kind of what they were planning with on what they're planning other things, but make a half hour of it on YouTube, but the rest of it available as a DVD extra. Those are deleted scenes. 2 hours were deleted scenes, but because I read through the script, the shooting script that they had, it did a pretty good thing. Not the least of which because Captain April Enterprise saved the day, and the Garth is still kind of caught up with his pants down. Okay, favorite superhero. Well, there's a few. I'm narrowed down to one. I came across some drawings that I did when I was like 2 or something. I don't remember things I did not remember doing and did not match my art style at the time. But I would picture the Superman and Batman. Growing up, probably a lot of it was Batman, but when I discovered the Marvel comics, it's like, Spidey was a big thing. The only one I've ever actually had a dream of being was Captain America. The weird thing is, no real story, just trapped on a big boat, either a cargo ship or a yacht, and taking out bad guys one at a time. So yeah, that opening sequence in Winter Soldier, that one kind of, yes, I've had this dream, and it's going to let this well too. So I always had a soft spot for Cap. But yeah, Wolverine's also a big one up there. those kind of, like superheroes are such things, but, representation is a big word that you throw in. Star Trek Aurora, I don't know. Let me fire that up and go. Let's see. I am wanting to get into a few more fan films, which before the whole industry gets shut down for whatever reason. Let's see. Oh, CGI stuff. I don't know. I might have taken a look at this once or twice, but not really did much on it. Generally, to do that kind of animation, you need megabucks. Otherwise, just oh, you did this on a computer, I can tell. Yeah, there's one channel, Trek Speak. Of course, I haven't done it in 3 years, that's why I haven't done it. It's good stuff, though. Yeah, I tend to prefer going with live actors on this, even if it's on a green screen. I still prefer to live actors. Get back over here. Okay, Captain America, well, depends on which area you're looking at. Kirby did it in the 40s. Different, and there was a big deal when Kirby came back to Marvel in 76 or so. And he started doing Captain America. But John Byrne had a big run on Captain. First, that's the one character he felt he could go back to right now and pick up where he left off. Because everyone else has changed so much, he didn't even recognize it. But, yeah, so I've got one of those toboggan discs, the sledding disc. That's still back in storage. I'm going to paint that up as Cap shield. I already got the straps, attached to it. I have my own Captain America shield. And across Batman and Captain America. Set during the war, so it's the 1940s era Batman with Captain America and Bucky. And they got a story with the Joker and the Red Skull teaming up to do something nefarious. But that was a pretty good one. Oh, okay. I'll show that. Yeah, a lot of things a lot of people are they're kind of grandfathered in. If there's stuff in the pipeline, when the guidelines came down, they were allowed to finish it. So you can finish it no problem. But after that, go to these guidelines. Another thing about the guidelines, it's like they're not really hard and fast rules. They're saying basically these are the things we set down where if you follow these rules, we won't mess with you. And it's not so much if you go outside those rules, it's like you go outside those rules, you're taking your chances. So by that account, you could do an hour-long episode probably. And as long as that's all you're doing is the time. Stick with everything else, you'll probably be fine. As long as you're making it clear, it's a fan production. You're not making any money off it. Yada yada yada. And the only thing is it's more than 15 minutes. They start trying to play like Alec and start poking the bear again. And he's practically begging to get sued again. Now the idea I got nursed for a fan film thing with the Starship Eldritch idea. That bridge set he's got would be perfect for my idea. It's totally unsuited for what he has in mind, because that's Dominion War. So for my idea, it'd be perfect. So when if they get a bunch of money, and there's at least some weight from them, decent uniform. Get some, maybe other arrange to use that bridge set for a little scene of my own. Okay. We're down to 3 people. Okay. RP. Well, Supergirl's never been in the Justice League. I don't think. No, at least not. There's my Patreon if anyone wants to join on that one. There's any donations directly. Skip the super chat entirely. But I was actually starting to soften myself on the accent thing, because like I say, I would like to use that set. And if okay, who's RP? Yeah, when Alex remind everybody what a royal jackass he is when he went after Random that time. And he also went after my wife on it. He was doing a lot of just unsolicited. Why do you stand on deck? And he railed on my wife for it. That's why I did the deal. Stop talking to my wife. Stop talking to my friends. Yeah, sure. That's why I got the links up there. That's why I'm doing this. So this is now my job. Now I can honestly say, well, time to go to work. Fire up the computer and put this in. But I'm looking at things to play some ideas to do more longer form videos here. Okay, now I've been doing this longer than 20 minutes. Refresh this here. Red counter is off. Yeah, that's more like an hour and a half. Okay, okay, change the time. Okay. Yeah, the thing is, that's the only set they had. But apparently they had a real kick-ass transporter set, but they didn't get. They had to break it up or whatever. It was in Los Angeles, but they couldn't transport it as is, so they had to break it up or whatever. Apparently, it was a bit of a tragedy. But yeah, the bridge looks very nice. I would do something with the color and also light it because it's not being shown very well what they have. But I really did it. But in the short term, right now, just trying to get more money raised up so we can make this trip to Kingsland in 2 weeks happen. With a little fan appreciation there. Well, yeah, you got the Ticonderoga sets. That's a full set. Okay, that's a museum piece. Those aren't working sets. They've been all prettied up. Oh, okay. And a nice picture present. And that is, like I said, the difference between the Kingsland sets and the and stuff like Ticonderoga. Because Kingsland, that is a working set, and it's kind of the ugly reality. The switches aren't all there. Some things they don't have that many intercom things. So why aren't there? Well, they're on the bridge right now. So they move them around. There aren't that many chairs. And you look at and you're actually face to face with the transporter pad. It's not that great. All right. There's the 20. Okay. Alrighty. Well, yeah, they're putting a hold on the Star Wars movies for now, and apparently we can consider it confirmed because John Campea has finally had to admit, no, the Rian Johnson trilogy is not happening. However much you want to defend that idiot, no, it is not happening. They're going to be the two Game of Thrones guys, and the smart money of that is it's going to be Knights of the Old Republic. And that's, by the way, even they made a hash of that one. That's thousands of years of history that you're going to. And as far as marketable storylines, my bet you to be the Sith War, or the Mandalorian War, because they got the Mandalorian series coming up. So it'd be a cross promotion of that. So back history of what the Mandalorians are all about and why we should care about those bows that are walking around Tatooine or wherever it is you're at. And that is one race that has definitely benefited from like the Clone Wars series. Because before that, no, it's Boba Fett. No, Boba Fett's one guy. The Mandalorians were a very big culture. Yeah, lots of other people went on that armor. Alien is Sabine on Rebels. She's a Mandalorian. So it's got me going. That's one of the things I want to do when I get my little mad scientist worked up. Is doing armor. Specifically, I want to do it a set of Mandalorian armor. But one thing with the 501st, everyone's doing Stormtroopers. Well, that's not a lot of variation there, and I'm constantly getting everything. Aren't you a little short for a Stormtrooper? Yeah, well, Mandalorians come in all shapes and sizes. So. I've got templates for doing my own armor. I think the idea is to do it in cardboard, but I think I want to try something more durable, like Warbler or something. But use those templates and flat sheets. And I also want to do some Iron Man armor. And there are templates for that too. And have some fun with that. Start getting into that kind of cosplay stuff. John Man said already, thanks again for that 20. So definitely going to help out because we're going to get some gas at some point. But yeah, the Star Wars movie's coming out. That's going to be Benioff and whatever his name is from Game of Thrones. Yeah. So it's pretty much confirmed. Yeah, there's no official announcement, but it's all but concluded that that Rian Johnson's little trilogy is not going to happen. Now there's still a question of, have they told Rian Johnson this yet? Is he still in the dark, or they just got him in a bungalow somewhere out back, behind the animation studio, and letting him spin away his contract until they finally tell him to get the hell off the lot? Because they'll do that. If they conclude it's cheaper just to let him, waste paper and, commissary for a few years, while we just let him string out his contract. His contract's a funny thing. So if they just fire him, then they got to pay out. They got to pay him off, and it could be worse than that. They just let him spin away. Now, any other topics of interest? All I ask is no politics. I just don't want to do that. I'm not here. Besides, there are pundits better equipped than I am to deal with that subject anymore. I just need to know. Yeah, what he said. Huh. Well, I need to see more than 2 minutes of footage. But if it, given the people involved, maybe Dave Filoni and Vince Filoni? No, not Vince Filoni. Favreau. No, Favreau. I think it'll be good. I'll give it that much. And I think this is their way of kind of grooming Filoni for the top job. Because I've been one of those guys, yelling in the background, put Filoni in charge, get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. But he doesn't have the top level experience for this sort of thing, whereas Kathleen Kennedy did. But when everyone else, oh yeah, great, she's been around forever, she'll be perfect. And we all got, oh crap. We realized the hard way that she was never in any other creative capacity. She was probably the bookkeeper. Because producers, they're a different kind of producers. Some producers, they only handle the money. They keep the things running on time, but they have no idea about story breakdown, or writers, character development, that sort of thing. There's the creative producers and there's money producers, and she's apparently one of the money producers. And they need a good creative guy in charge there. So even if they don't fire her, they could still get Filoni up there, and he'll be the creative guy in charge. Because with all the years he did Clone Wars, he certainly knows how to. Yeah, it wasn't exactly cheap when I was in the UK either. I don't know if it was $7 again, but it was up there. It was in there in '85 to '87. It was a good thing I drove a Pinto. Got decent mileage. And I generally didn't drive. Well, also, when you're in the train system over there and taxis, you really don't need to drive much anyway. Because the UK is such, you don't need it. You don't have to drive. You don't necessarily need to. It's so very much, a privilege. I like driving in England, even with an American car. I didn't have that much problem driving on the other side of the road. And I actually did that deliberately because it's going to be enough getting used to English laws, travel laws. I didn't need to be trying to figure out anything. Now, if they had followed, because they were doing a thing when I was getting ready to rotate back. They gave the option of requesting an indefinite indefinite rotation date at the time. And I did put in for that. I was like, no, I want to stick around. I'm liking it here. But they had other ideas, and they sent me back, sent me to California. But I would have stuck around. I probably would have wound up getting a British car at some point. And I probably would have retired over there. Like, that's it. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'll admit one thing. I was not a fan of the original Mini. I did not like. I took one under the hood of that car. I thought, what the hell is this? Although I do like the new Minis. I'm not going to All right. Well, again, thanks for what you've contributed so far, and I'm having to refresh myself half the time too. Because something's going weird on this thing. Well, I'm going through the phone. It's not going through the Wi-Fi. It's not through the phone system here. That's kind of why I'm doing it. So I'm not relying on the Wi-Fi. Okay. Whoops. All right. Add a little excitement to your video here. There we go. That should have it. That's another thing, get this channel to grow and become more self-sufficient so I can get proper equipment. Especially when you get into a decent place and get decent Wi-Fi and really do. Cassian Andor series will get Oh, that. Okay, yeah, that guy. Well, it's got to happen pre-Rogue One because he dies in Rogue One, doesn't he? They kind of have to do a post-Rogue One because he's kind of vaporized it. So, okay, well, pictures just, how's the sound coming through? I'm not listening to headphones because the delay throws me off. Cassian Andor, I don't know, because that sounds like a Kathleen Kennedy project there. I don't know how that's going to work out. I got higher hopes for The Mandalorian and also the revival of Clone Wars, because a couple of years ago at Celebration, they kind of Dave Filoni kind of told Ashley Eckstein and the crowd what he had in mind for Ahsoka. But what she was doing after she left the Jedi Order. Well, it looks like they're following through on that. They're giving her own little command of stormtroopers to go around. I think it was already processed that seeing as that she was no longer a Jedi, that's how she escaped Order 66. Because the Order was to kill all Jedi. Well, she's not a Jedi anymore, so that at least give them a little bit of delay. Well, there's also a thing of how interesting was that character that would justify having his own series too? Anybody really invested in Cassian Andor? They want to follow him? Oh, I want to see a series about this guy. Nobody would, because everyone died. It was a mission story. Make them interested enough to watch the movie, but other than that, don't get too attached to these guys because they're all gonna bite it by the end. None of them are that special, really. I'm sorry to say because I like Felicity Jones, but in fact, the more interesting stuff was in the trailer than the track. But the Rebellion, I was rebelling. It was also, it was fun. I did use a lot of deleted footage from the original movie to bring in some of the fighters. And my tea's gone cold. So. In theory, well, pun not intended, But once upon a time, back when they were doing the fan awards, I think they should bring back that. I think that would be probably about as far as you could ask them to go. Bring back those fan film awards. And Star Wars Theater would be racking in a few. If only because of the way they screwed them over that one. Oh, that was. I think that incident right there was really cemented just how much of a problem the Phantom Menace had become. And I think to that point, they've been during the Western Past Graveyard trying to ignore it, but that one was starting to full on revolt. Because then people were really just talking about just boycotting episode 9, regardless of what they did, for the way they were treating one of the problem fans. Because that was a dirty. It wasn't monetized in the first place. And threatening all kinds of stuff and monetizing it for them. It's like, wait a minute, this is slimy. So you actually got an apology from Lucasfilm and got your videos back at yours. But that is one thing that would help a lot. Because this kind of thing, when Disney came in and made it all corporate, there's two things they did. They got rid of the EU, and they got rid of and trashed the fan film awards. Now the extended universe, I can understand that because they want to put a little kind of control on it, and I think they could kind of back off of that by saying, well, okay, it's still there, but there was Legends. So some of it happened, not necessarily everything the way it was depicted. So that takes care of things like the big bunny guy in the Marvel comics. And the fact that one of the books has Chewie being killed several years ago, when he's still very much alive in the movie. So you kind of get around a few of the snagging points on that. And actually, if you look at the way it was phrased originally, the books and the comics were not canon, really. Because they always deserve their right to contradict them when they have any kind of concept. So they were really only like provisionally canon in the sense of, it's their placeholders till we get to that period to decide whether or not we like it or not. Okay, I think you're talking something I haven't seen yet. What now? Because I don't have Disney streaming service. I don't know what that's from. And I also, what mall certain episodes I have seen, I haven't follow that closely. I don't know if somehow survived. And it's got a little spider body now. Yeah, I haven't seen Solo. I've seen a lot of reviews of it. I have it. At least I had it. But that's not like you kind of didn't bother with this one. That's frankly my only interest in that one was the Falcon. To see what it was like when it was banned when it was still new. But everything rest of that movie. Did we really need a Chewie Han shower scene? I could have gone the rest of my life without that stuff in there. But it's kind of a lot of the problems with certain prequels. They explain stuff they really don't need explaining. Like, I had no problem with the idea that his name really was Han Solo. With Star Wars, people have weird names. Okay? Doesn't have to be any particular meaning to it. It lost mainly because it cost so damn much. Because when Ron Howard came in, they essentially reshot almost the entire movie. It was like 80% they had to reshoot. So you pretty much doubled the production budget right there. And so when all was said and done, and the advertisement, that thing would have had to have made upwards of about $1 billion just to break even. It was a disaster waiting to happen. And to a certain extent, it suffered for the sins of The Last Jedi, but it didn't help the fact that it apparently was not a good movie. Maybe it finally broke even with home video sales, but at the box office, it died horribly. Yeah, they were going a little too jokey, and no. This is the incident that justifies, front office meddling because of things like this. I mean, a lot of times it's really interference that people have no idea what they're doing. But sometimes it's necessary to come in and rein in certain directors who are going a little off the rails. I think Ron Howard, one of Ronnie's first big movie breaks was American Graffiti. I mean, he did. Put over here. So this big, break, in the movies was American. He'd been doing stuff with Roger Corman before that, but to that point, it was still Richie Cunningham. Well, actually, that's a whatever. But I think he also directed a little too. But it was mainly the favorite of George Lucas that came in and said, okay, yeah, I'll salvage it. And Ron's a fan boy too, okay? Him and Clint are both Star Trek fans too. So we're kind of thinking, when is Ron going to do a Star Trek movie? Drop this. Stay put. So then basically got my cell phone leaning up against my computer here. If something will stay put. That's why you got to learn a kind of bizarre angle here. Otherwise, it'd be the laptop computer, but then you'd be going through the web, and then it'd be a slideshow, doing all that nonsense. There we go. That's your hold. All right. Now, it might be so much fun idea. Little things that keep things exciting. Start doing weird things. Actually, I heard, that episode 9, apparently, JJ tried, introduce a little improv thing where they just, ad-lib their lines with, I don't know how well that's going to work, but there was Doom talk something about what apparently the plot is. No. We're talking another wrap-up of like Lost. Total screwfest on all consumers, the screen franchise, good with fans. It's going to land on everything. Down to just broadcasting some inspirational message from Luke with the Emperor. It's the hologram. We'll see what happens if any of that's actually accurate. But if that's the case, word of mouth is going to and no one's going to want to hear it. Yeah, I don't know. It's still early days, so who knows who's got the accurate spoiler one here. There we go. All right. That should look better. Better there for sure. I'm blocking the camera. Who cares? Okay, here we are. Yeah, that's enough, and I'm not much of the EU. I know a few things, but on that, a lot of it is kind of lost. And I started reading the book on the Millennium Falcon. I don't think that it was interesting, but I never did get past halfway through it. So I think it actually looks back in Denver. But I think right now they're probably in a situation with the EU because it's there to be used, but it's not binding. And one thing I would do if I would bring in Mara Jade. I wouldn't necessarily stick with the backstory, but just as a character. The idea of a wild redhead, female Jedi is like, yeah, I like that idea. You could play her too. And you definitely would, see the cosplay come up a lot too. A lot of lightsaber wielding redheads in cons. More than you already do. Listen, right now it's like okay. Yeah, it's got a thing. Star Wars Theory just posted about George Lucas and JJ working together for Episode 9. Well, yeah, that's the one bright spot, I think, because George's things haven't necessarily been the best either. Are we forgetting the prequels? No, this is it. And Popcast is doing a thing with Kowalski. I'll need to check. No, that's it. I'll check that out later. See if my name comes up. Yes, I'm that vain. Lots of stuff. Piling up and I've been doing this. Okay. Get this thing for a bit. Sideline. Okay. It's one of those things we don't know enough. We don't know if it's going to suck. We don't know if it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a hard time with the box office regardless, just because of the backlash. There's still too many people. There's too many moons. Because a few too many people, kind of campy is calling all of us. I think the exact phrase was constant humping basement dwellers. That really doesn't add to it. It doesn't help the discourse. It doesn't help in fan morale, and it sure as hell doesn't generate enthusiasm. Because if this is what the people who are in favor of this thing think of us, why should we bother? It's kind of like, why they have problems with Star Trek fandom, because it's been clear that they don't respect us, they don't think we're smart enough to know this stuff, so why should we give them the time of day? And the point where I'll grant an element of this in there, but of why I even deny their shows even in the same timeline. It certainly solves a lot of problems as far as how to reconcile this crap. We don't. I'm not sure Matt Smith would make a good evil thing, but Palpatine's a different archetype. We're strange. Pick up the first draft of Star Wars. That's a bizarre one. You'll see a lot of familiar names. Not on a lot of familiar characters, though. George recycled a lot of names of completely different character types. But dig that one up sometime. That'll set your hair on fire. So that. We got 6 people watching here and 10 thumbs up. I thought I could get 10 thumbs up. We're looking for a topic, people. So I just got called from Arizona. Illinois, Arizona. Okay. Well, first. Got a few bucks, a few people throwing some money at me, which is always appreciated. But I imagine somebody probably going online here that they did it. Let's see. Well, maybe not. It's nasty and flare truck. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, God. But yeah, this one here looks interesting with George and Lucas and JJ will get together. That is, and it is actually still one thing that doesn't help because he's working with George. He's not being asked to do this himself. If you do it myself, again, we get something idiotic like Lost to the year or something. It's not true. And when I look, we can get keep growing this channel, and we can get the little show up to Kingsland, and maybe corner the cast members up there and do some things with that. We will check it out. Okay, yeah. So yeah, with 2 hours we're gonna put up with. Okay, so we'll catch you later.